How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the GKP. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all well. Couple of things I want to bring up. First of all, it seems I may have upset a few people, as I did an abundance of people unsubscribe after putting out a tape measure challenge. When people take things the wrong way, it was done as a challenge, and somebody had sent me a link to it. There are several of us that are going to be doing the same thing, and it's not about bragging, because I ain't got no to brag out, that is for sure. The pond is bigger, nothing more. Still runs exactly the same, still being maintained exactly the same. Same filter system, same fish, same budget low end. Certainly nothing to be bragging about. But what it was to do was to highlight and to show some people that the ponds are either bigger or smaller than what they believe them to be. And that was a positive message. Just picking my brew up. And not a negative one. So, first of all, for all those who may have taken it that way, I apologise if I offended. And secondly, there was a positive behind it. Because now those people that I set challenges, one who found out his pond was bigger than it was, and the other one that found out his pond was considerably less than what he believed it was, now know how to treat the ponds and to treat them safely. And can save themselves a little bit of money, and others might have to cost them a little bit more. Talking of treatments, we have been on with a continuous battle here at the GKP with the goddamn flukes, and I'm hoping this time we've got them, because we are now day 2 into the treatment with fluke pea, Kusuri Fluke pea. And I'll say this much, I've used quite a few different fluke treatments over the several months, and that one by far is the easiest to mix product wise than any other one I've ever had. Literally pour it into the cup in the measurements required for the literage of your pond, hence the reason measuring the ponds, getting your correct literage so you know what you're treating. Bang it in, add it to a can or a bottle or a watering can or a bucket, add water to the bucket and stir. Give it a quick mix up, job done. That's it. No farting about trying to get powders and other forms of stuff to mix in and whisking it up and it all floating to top again and you're feeling like you stood there forever and a day. Fluke pea, on the first note of it, is absolutely bang on for mixing up. Absolutely brilliant. Now the next one, I'll spin you around. As you can see, it does make your pond a little bit on the frothy side, but all fair to them, it does tell you that on the bottle. Now, can anybody see something else here? Check this out, guys. We have had one hell of a storm, and it's blown the big trees that you can see over there at the background there, this time here. It's blown part of the oak leaves, berries off everywhere, and they're all everywhere in the bottom of the pond. It's absolutely rammed with them. So, my first job is going to be to get all this leaf matter out the pond, because I don't have a net on. I've still not put a net on as of yet. We've had no visitors, we've got no problems, we've got no marks, we've got no fish with any damage, none missing. They're all still there, no jumpers, no toppers, no fly out or out like that, even with fluke treatment in. I'll say this much, the fluke pea doesn't seem to irritate them as much as what you'd see other fluke treatments as well. So I'm looking at a few positives there, but it also contains this. Now I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce this, so let's try and see if we can. There we go. Contains praziquantel, I believe. Praziquantel. Or as we've jokingly been saying, no, I don't think I'll say that one. But yeah, good stuff from what I'm told and advised by Rick from New Forest Koi. Any that contains that inside it is one of the best products to get. It's a longer lasting, slower reacting, but always takes care of them. So I'm going with Rick's advice from New Forest Koi. Check his channel out, guys. Go over and check his website out as well, New Forest Koi, for all his new stock that he's harvesting. But that's what we're giving a go, and we're going to see if we can get rid of these flukes once and for all. But my first job is I'm going to have to take the net and get one of my lanterns, because it's been blown in at the far corner. That one needs standing back up. Get all these netted off as best as I possibly can, and all the fine ones then I'll pull through the filter system, and then I'm going to get the lawnmower out and I'm going to quickly whip across the lawn, not because it needs cutting, but it will suck up all these berries so dog don't start picking them up, and then all the bits of leaves and leafage so that don't blow in the pond. So I'll get back to you in a tick. Right, that's that done. Now then, we've got a couple of things I'm going to show you. First of all, I'm going to show you the damage and how glad and how lucky I am that I managed to get mine done just before. So I'll spin this round. There we go, grass cut, all leaves gone. Grass didn't really need cutting, but it's been cut and that's got rid of all them. We've netted all the leaves off, and yeah, for all those that's going to put it in comments, should have fitted a skimmer? Yeah, I should. Should have also fitted a bottom trim, should have also bricked it up, should have also built it lots of other ways, but you know, we build within his means, and right now that was my means. So anyway, let's have a quick look at this. You all saw me do these posts and get all these replaced because my fence was absolutely shot. Well, when we got up this morning to set off for work, this is what we found. Neighbour's broken there, and this neighbour's fence completely gone, laid out into car park. So I'm glad that I've managed to put 4x4 posts in this one for the divide, brand new post in this one, which is all doing perfectly fine. Look at all weeds coming back up behind there already. God damn it. I've got all the leaves out. There are some smaller ones, but bottom drain will pick them up and I'll service pump. But let's talk about this fluke pea then. Let's have a natter about this. Let's see what its directions of use are. First of all, it says there it's praziquantel based medication against gill flukes, body flukes, tapeworm. Kusuri Fluke pea can be used at all temperatures, which is a bonus, and for the use of cold water ornamental fish. Directions: switch UV sterilizers, carbon filters and protein skimmers off until treatment is completed after 7 days. Before use, tighten up the cap and shake vigorously before use. Use the cap to measure the correct dosage. Add to a clean watering can, then fill the pond water. Gradually pour across the surface of the area of the pond over an hour's period. This is designed as a one-off treatment, which is the bit I like about it, the one-off treatment, but may require a second dose after 7 days in heavy infestations. We recommend a scrape and a microscope identification prior to the second application. This may cause temporary foaming. This litre bottle treats 25,003 litres or 5,500 gallons, and the ratio is 18 millilitres per 454.6 litres or 100 gallons of pond and tank water. Do not overdose. Overdose can cause fish fatalities. Storing, this is another good bit as well. This is one thing I'm liking about this. Keep out of direct sunlight. Store between 2 and 30 degrees. Keep out of reach of children. For animal treatments only. Always wear protective gloves and goggles when handling chemicals. Use within 3 months of opening the bottle. do not use in conjunction with any other medication. So what do you think, guys? Who of you guys out there has used this and has found it successful? Because I can say this much, and this is my opinion, I ain't gonna get no sponsorships out of this, but this stuff, Learnex Pro, is utter shit. Utter shit. I treated in every way that everybody said. I've used a full, now bearing in mind that this treats a 20,000 litre pond, and my pond wasn't, well, we're only 4,000 litres, well, just under 4,000 litres. Treats 20,000 litres, yet I've still got flukes, and that box is empty. I did the full treatment first day, part treatment third day, full treatment sixth day, part treatment ninth day, and still had flukes. I then gave them a full treatment as it said on the instructions of the box, and still had flukes. And I do think, in my opinion, not so much that the product is shit, but either flukes are becoming immune, are a lot more immune to these products that we're using every day, or the dosage and the treatment dosages is nowhere near. And we've said this before on the lives, you've heard other YouTubers say the same, other YouTubers showing that they quite clearly not overdose, but over recommended dose to combat the problem with parasites. Now, I'm told and I'm led to believe that this treatment is pretty good. Rick swears by it, Vince uses it from Twisted Koi, check his channel out, guys. So I'm giving it a go, and to be fair, 48 quid, £48.90 delivered to the door, and it arrived 2 days after ordering it. Ordered it late Sunday evening and arrived Tuesday. Can't knock that. Bloody good service. All we need to do now is see if Kusuri Fluke P does what it says. But it says for a heavy infestation that you may have to treat twice. That's the bit I'm liking about it, because I don't believe I have a heavy infestation. I do think I've had one fish that suffered badly that had a heavier infestation, and I think my fish are suffering from gill fluke, which are, and what I'm told, a lot more difficult to get rid of. But spin camera around, I'm going to give them a bit of a feed. They've been feeding fine, no problem. Like I said, this is day 2. It went in yesterday evening, so this is, well, technically 1 day, so it's not day 2 of the treatment, but this is a full 24 hours since the first treatment went in yesterday. So we'll see what happens in 7 days. I think on 6 days I'll take a couple out, do a couple of scrapes, try and get some gill scrapes if I can as well. Not the easiest of tasks, so I'm going to do that with one of my fish that's not the favourite, so as I hope not to do any damage to something that I do favour. But up to press, everybody seems pretty happy. So, I'll get back to you in a bit, we'll give them a bit of something to eat. Right, I'm going to give them a bit of their favourites, some mealworms, freshwater shrimps, silkworms, just a few bits and bats, just to let them have a little bit of a nibble. Let's see if we can get them to come in a little bit closer to us. I want to see if I can get my chag to hand feed, because he's become really, really good and really, really tame. And I reckon we can get this. I reckon we can get this chag hand feeding. On there too. I do so as not to favour the treats I'm giving. I also mix in some of the normal food too, so they get a combination of the normal pellets and the treats. I haven't had any of these for a good while. There's also some sinking food in there too. Now then, my next question, guys, while they have a bit of something to eat, obviously not for this season, because we're not. We're literally just coming out of the back end of summer now. 29th this month. Oh, we're officially into autumn. But feeders for next year. I'm thinking about getting a feeder for next year so that I can get the fish and get some growth on them, because I can only feed them when I'm at home. So recommended, or recommend me a good feeder at a reasonable price, guys. I'm not talking about one of these 24-hour programming. Well, I want it to be programmable, but not one that's going to be doing, you know, I can get up in the morning, feed them first thing. I want something that feeds them mid-morning, again, or just before lunch, lunchtime, mid-afternoon, coming up to 4 o'clock-ish, and then by 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock I can be feeding them again then for myself. So I need something that's going to do about 6 feeds a day or more, you know, 6 to 8. Something that's good that can stay outside, and then something I'm thinking about putting about here on the side there on that rock. So something that I can either mount to the fence or mount to there. And the other one is, guys, I got this from the Oaks, and it's a plastic plaque. Now I am going to go back to the Oaks, but I'm wondering if anybody else has ever seen any of them anywhere other than just at the Oaks, because I've not seen them anywhere else. And if you have, stick it in comments, guys. Let me know when I might be able to pick up another one. I wouldn't mind a shower, maybe a Sankey, or maybe a, you know, just a row of 3 or 4 of them on there. So if not, it's a trip back to the Oaks, and I'm going to go pick one up, a couple up from there when I go. But they're all enjoying a bit of something to eat. Everybody seems to be doing really well. Other than the leaves everywhere, the pond's staying nice and clean, nice and clear. Filter system's working fine. A bit of frothy obviously from the treatment, as it stated. But other than that, everything's looking pretty good. They're certainly doing a heck of a lot more swimming now than what they did before. A heck of a lot more. But to get back to the Fluke P, this is by no means a review. I'm just going to see if it works, and if it works for the problems that I've had, I'd recommend it. I'm not recommending it yet. Let's see how good it does. There should be enough treatment in that bottle to treat my pond 4 times, which is a bonus. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get rid of these flukes and they can go into winter without, or autumn and then into winter, without having to deal with those pesky parasites and flukes. I know they've got nothing else. I know it's just the flukes. I've checked them, I've scraped them, and I've looked and I've looked and I've looked again, and I've gill scraped and found lots of flukes on the butterfly koi, which I lost on the build. But yeah, that's the process. That's what we're on with. That's what we're going to do. And if I can recommend it when we're done and we've finished, up to press. I see a lot more positives. A lot more positives. A lot easier to mix up. No messing around. It's a liquid, so it instantly mixes in. It doesn't have any of those clumpy lumps that seem to bond or bind together. And another thing it doesn't do is it doesn't. Well, I'll show you. So, one other thing it doesn't do is it does make a bit of froth and a bit of bubbles inside your moving bed, but nowhere near as much from my experience as what LearnX Pro does. That stuff made my pond fizz and froth and bubble up inside my filter system to the point of where it overflowed. So One other thing I do know I need to do is that's running at the moment at 8,000 litres an hour, which means that that tank pump there has got a lot of leaves inside it. So I'm going to have to give that a quick service and a clean, but it ain't every day a week that we get winds like we did the other night, or last night. The silver birch tree were all blown over. The old piece of my conservatory roof in there, which is just down the side of the building, that were rattling around on the inside of there, so that was making it a racket. But I'm going to be using a section of that to make a... What I was thinking of doing is using a section of it to make a little cover for the little growing pond, and the other one to perhaps make a sheltered area to give them one area in the pond that's not, you know, going to get covered in 10 ton of snow over the top of it, and plenty of oxygen aeration underneath it. But then if I can, I might make a series of polycarb sheeting to go over the top. We'll see. It's not the cheapest, but bigger pond now, you might need a little bit more. A bit more protection for this winter. We've got deeper depth than what they had before. Shag makes a right racket when it feeds. It's got a scratch on its nose from when it was in pond, in the temperate. But look, these guys, they're extremely friendly now. They're not spooked off. Look at the Matsukawa back, you know, all the gibberings coming back up on it. Super happy about that fish getting better, especially for me being my son's. He's well chuffed, and I'm well happy that we aren't going to lose that one. But look at him, greedy sods. So yeah, just a little update, guys, just to let you know how things are going on. Again, like I said, there was no ill intent and no bragging, because I ain't really got nothing to brag about. You win some, you lose some, don't you? So I guess the way it goes. But this is all really about whether or not we can get on top of these flukes, and whether or not the Kusuri Fluke P does its job. Not, like I said, not a review as such. I haven't been asked to do any of this. I'm just doing it because I'm so sick and tired of it. So sick and tired of having the flukes with the fish. And if I can get on top of it and this stuff works, then it's a good, you know, I can then share my findings with you guys. And, you know, if it helps somebody else that's having a similar problem, brilliant. But for me, I've tried Flukasol, I've tried Fluke M, I've tried Learnex Pro, and now we're on to Kusuri Fluke P. And to press, none of those have worked. None of the others at all. I've gone throughout the full season. I think I've just been keeping the numbers down and not actually getting rid of them. And there'll be those that say, no, you'll never get rid of them. Yeah, you're right, I probably won't. But when I've got fish that are struggling to breathe because of gill flukes, you've got to do something. And at press, up to press should I say, right now everybody seems to be perfectly fine, and we may have just had a weak fish. It may have just been the butterfly. It may have been that, I mean, I was talking to a couple of people the other day and they were saying that perhaps maybe your butterfly was the weak fish that were just a breeding ground for flukes and had the gills full of them, just constantly popping out baby ones and spreading around your pond. I don't know, I'm not saying that's the case. You know, other people have been doing all this a heck of a lot longer than me. You listen to some advice, take what you can from it, try things, trial and error, and see where you get and see what happens. So anyway guys, usual thing, if you're enjoying this kind of content, if you could do us a huge favour, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Till next time guys, keep smiling and we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.